This will be the spurgeoning until the new shiny trinket rolls down the road. Of course, everybody is still losing their mind because they can't have access to abortion on demand. It's almost like there's several steps and several precautions you can take before requiring an abortion, but that's totally fine, right? So you know what, hey, where the government takes away a right, that's what these people think, right has been stripped away from women, or you don't really hear the term birthing people, at least you haven't lately. Funny how they know specifically now what a woman is when, it's expedient for them, but whatever, regardless, the government is just go ahead and getting rid of that from you, and then this is where companies start to step in. It's funny too, because the left, they just can't possibly get any of their principles together. They can't, form a cohesive thought, have just an applied principality about their decision making. Okay. On one hand, yes, you're supposed to be, if you're a part of this collective, you're supposed to be, oh yes, very communitarian. You're supposed to be behind your unions. Okay. And you think that the government is going to come down, they're going to help you, and that, oh no, those greedy capitalists that are out there. But when your company is, helping you out, or when Big Pharma is telling other people what to do because, it doesn't affect me, therefore, no, just continue to push the jab on everybody else. But when the companies can come down and help them to make really stupid life decisions, then God bless, guess what? Yep, just sign up and simp up for all of the big companies that are out there, completely sell out all of your morals and foundations, but then that would also imply that they had them to begin with. But this is a slippery slope that's here, and it's pretty fucking obvious if you don't know at this point. Okay, like, we'll take a look at the basic premise of this. Companies covering abortion travel costs for employees, now including Disney, Netflix, and Dick's Sporting Goods. Literally, Dick is supporting abortion. I feel like you're probably, needing to really rethink that, considering the name of your store. But whatever. Okay, whatever. One required you to get the abortion, and the other one's helping you out with travel. But are they going to make them, provide any receipts? Because wouldn't that also be like a breach of the Fourth Amendment? Fourth Amendment as well, a right to medical privacy. So, interesting how that would actually work, or if it's just a free $4,000 and a trip to California, okay, for some of these fucking broads getting skeeted in. Why are a whole bunch of companies doing this? Because they're feeling, just overly generous? No, it's because it's kind of like that old, tired argument from just a bunch of blue-pilled simp married dudes that are out there. Oh, it's just cheaper to keep her. There's finances at stake here, okay? So it's saying, we'll actually go into this here for a second, okay? Because that's the baseline. That's what I'm thinking when it comes to this stuff. The Supreme Court has voted to overturn Roe v. Wade. Yeah, we already know. And some companies are offering to help their employees to fund reproductive care. Reproductive care, that's what you want to call baby murder? Okay, you do you, I guess. Outside of their home states, which may yet be impacted by the court's ruling. Yeah, no, exactly. Can anybody, just educate some of these bitches on the 29 forms of feminine birth control that are out there, or just don't fuck dudes who don't wrap it up? How about that? Okay, check for proof of a vasectomy. Like, it's pretty fucking simple. Okay, and I thought that was also taught at the same time that reproductive talks were had in schools. Oh, right. That was back when, health class was kind of useful and would just apply to the overwhelming majority of people, and not nowadays cater to a very small quarter of a percentile of people that are out there. I think you know what I'm talking about, and more on that later in the week, okay? Because we're still in the thwing of Pride Month, y'all. Anyways, Disney, Netflix, Condé Nast, Dick's Sporting Goods, which is DKS. Great. I'm not fucking funding anybody's stupid decisions. Get fucked, fuckers. Are among the latest companies offering to reimburse their employees for travel costs when workers seek reproductive care in other states, including abortion and gender-affirming procedures. Ugh, God. If they're looking to do that, you should probably just get rid of them, because there are going to be more problems down the line. But but can you really abort an entire human resources department? I don't know. The benefit is also available to employees who cannot access these services within 100 miles of where they live, and also applies to workers' dependents. Oh, okay, cool. So if somebody's, shitty daughter gets knocked up. Okay, great, wonderful. several other companies, including Starbucks. Oh, great. So all of those well-educated baristas out there, okay, if they're taking a double shot of something else, okay. Tesla. Oh, yes, based Elon. Yeah, very, very. Citigroup, Yelp, Lyft, Levi Strauss. What? No. Keep it in the jeans, and you wouldn't need to shell out a whole bunch of money. And Amazon, because of course, they got fucking orders to fill here. Okay, we ain't got time to let a bitch just go and sit out for a year on maternity leave. No. Okay, cover your travel costs, okay? In some instances, okay, you have some of the other companies that are on there as well, also funding, or at least partially funding, giving you a stipend for women to also, seek other reproductive help as well, freeze your eggs, put them in cryo, whatever, and all that kind of stuff, maybe fucking source a surrogate or some shit like that. But I know they're doing stipends when it comes to freezing eggs. Why? Because they've got you there, okay? Theoretically, they like the job that you're doing right there, due to the temperament of women in the general sense, okay? The need, the want, and the desire to be a part of a collective, okay? They want you there for as long as possible, and if you can sell them the dream, which society is helping, okay, that you can just, push off life, okay? You can just go and, you can have your career, which, obviously, unless you're working in, headquarters at Disney or Netflix, okay, Tesla, the Citigroup, okay, or one of the banks that are down there. If you're just your fucking run-a-day teller for any of these places, okay, if you're just working at a call center for Netflix, or if you're just stuffing packages in an Amazon packing center, do you really think that you're going to be making a better overall life decision by, going through an abortion and then staying on at your shitty job with a company who would just, they're just crunching numbers at the end of the day, really. This is all this is, shelling out a little bit of cash instead of just having to bring in a temporary worker. Okay, train them up again, get them up to speed, so it puts them at a disadvantage, okay, and then, it'd have to bring you back, keep you on leave, okay, and then, yes, bring you back, reacclimatize you, and then also fund you at least partially for a significant amount of time. No, it's just easier to pay for a weekend. We might cover half a day on Friday, just be back on Monday, because nobody's here to cover your shift, so just make sure that you get back, okay? That's all this is doing, okay? It's selling you and selling gullible women out there that, yep, you can go ahead, you can have all of that stuff, you are happy working your 9-to-5 job, because let's be honest, this is for men and women as well. Most people work a job, nobody really has a career, okay? And who is the unhappiest group of individuals walking the face of the earth right now, if you just take away the one obvious group that's out there? But 35 to 40-year-old women, because how many of them are on antidepressants? It's fucking sad facts, dude, okay? You don't want to end up like... And this is a strange comparison, right? Because this is Paulina Porizkova, okay? This was a bad bitch way back in the cut, and if it wasn't for her terrible life decisions, all things considered, okay, because theoretically, we don't know how this all would have eventually played out, but it looked like it was going down one certain path, okay? She married Rick Ocasek, the lead singer of The Cars back in the day, very popular new wave band from back in the 80s, okay? They had a whole bunch of bangers there. But their first album was basically the soundtrack for Fast Times at Ridgemont High. Everybody knows The Cars, okay? Or at least you've heard a track or two from The Cars. There's the man right there, and unfortunately in 1990, him and Porizkova were married in 1989, okay? She was 24, he was significantly older, but then at the same time, he was still Rick Ocasek of The Cars. So again, it's like, he's kind of a big gangly looking motherfucker, and she was one of the first supermodels that was ever out there. So yeah, no, wider society thought that, oh yeah, he was the lucky guy in that situation. And from the outside looking in, yeah, she's a 24-year-old supermodel that you bagged, okay, and that you guys, ended up having a family, 4 kids or something like that, and he had a couple from a previous marriage. I think that's the way that it worked out and all that stuff. But yeah, no, they were happily-ish married, at least until the last couple of years, for 30 For 30 years they were together, okay, before things started to dissolve because, oh, I don't know, maybe somebody started to realize that, oh fuck, I just traded in my youth and now this guy's dying of a fucking heart disease, so I need to cash in while the chips are still good. Think I'm making this stuff up? I want you to take a look at the justification for how things ended up, kind of trickling out. Maybe this will give you a better insight into Paulina's thought process on this. Despite their disparity in ages and physical appearance, Kasich and Porizkova's relationship lasted for 30 years, because, at the time she thought she was answering the hypergamous question that lingers in the mind of every woman that is out there, 24 years old, who is the best person that I can do? Probably the guy who was on top of the musical world at the time, who could provide a lot of fame and fortune and high-class security, and then also at the same time thinking that maybe I'd like a family at some point in time, and still be able to pursue whatever I want, being a supermodel and all. And it's like, okay, that guy right there, yeah, no, definitely, that's the guy for me. And then once his old heart started to go kaploot, because guess what? That hypergamous question lingers forever, okay? You have to continuously pass shit tests, regardless of whatever stage you're at in your relationship, okay? That's something that women just naturally do. Sorry, guys. You always gotta be on your fucking game, okay? You might think that you built something up, but then take a look at this, okay? When he died, September 15th of this year, this is 2019, by the way, it was Porizkova who discovered his body at his home that they still shared, even though they had been in the midst of divorce proceedings since May of 2018. And now the divorce looms over Rick Okasik's state, setting the stage for a likely court battle. Normally, when somebody dies in the midst of a divorce, the couple is still treated as having been married. Yeah, because they are, okay? Even though the proceedings are underway, the divorce hasn't been finalized. In other words, the spouse is still a spouse, or even if he or she wouldn't have been a spouse if the divorce had been finalized sooner. This gives the spouse, Paulina Porizkova, in this case, certain rights to the estate. Kasich, though, took steps to cut off Porizkova's spousal rights by signing a new will in a few weeks before he died, just before going in for surgery. Keep this in mind, okay? This dude's going in for, I think it was heart surgery, something akin to that, okay? Something fairly serious, okay? But he had already done up his will, left 4 of his 6 children, something specific in the will, okay? And then might have been tertiary settlements with the other 2 kids that are in there as well. But basically, Porizkova was going to be out in the fucking cold. Sucks to suck, okay? You wanted to initiate this shit? There you go. Specifically, according to the New York Post, Kasich stated that he excluded Porizkova as a beneficiary because of the divorce, along with 2 of his 6 children. But he went further and stated that Porizkova abandoned him and should not be entitled to any elective share. Exactly. This was a lady who, at the time, was 54, was still trying and basically holding on, okay? Thinking that, oh fuck, my husband is now 75 years old, he's gonna be dying soon, and I'm still gonna theoretically have like 30 years left of my time, and I missed out on a considerable amount of my youth, and I want to take it, whatever time's left. And hey, I keep hearing this stuff that 50's the new 40 and 40's the new 30, so I still got it. I'm still a supermodel after all. No, that's not the fucking case. Okay, stop letting society lie to you. Okay. I don't report this with any sort of glee, okay? Maybe she would have ultimately ended up at this situation, okay? Take the divorce completely off the docket, okay? Because she's posting, after the death and all that stuff that, oh, we were still in constant communication and I was bringing him coffee all the time. That's nice. That's nice. The post hoc substantiation of your guys' relationship. Okay, fine. If that was the case, whatever, okay? Maybe you guys would have had an 11th hour reconciliation and everything would have been fine and everybody would have, just shared the final year of Rick's life and you guys would have been happy and great and all that stuff. And then unfortunately you would have found yourself in this situation, okay? It would have been even worse because, you were just, happily married for all of this time, but still you ended up at this situation where you thought, you know what? I'm supposed to be sexy at any age, sexy at any size. Nobody is supposed to judge me for anything that's out there because I am a woman. Hear me roar. Not me specifically. I don't play for that team. But here's another common thing that women do all the time, okay? Because you never see a man, okay, out there saying, you know what? I don't care that I got the beer belly. I'm healthy at any size. Big and beautiful. No, you don't get that from men, okay? But for women, I think I'm entitled to that. A business owner, Chris Hemsworth. Yep, no, I could definitely get him because I'm a wonderful person. Doesn't matter that I'm 50 pounds overweight, okay? Doesn't matter that I'm 3 times single mother by 2 different men. It doesn't matter. I deserve that because I'm big and beautiful and secure in myself. There's a difference. There's another big stark difference here. Women like to conflate their sexual market value, which Paulina Porizkova prided herself on for a very long time. She's a supermodel. She was one of the hottest broads walking the earth when she punched out, okay, in 1989. Year before I was even born, for Christ's sakes. And their personal worth, okay? She's probably a lovely woman. I don't really know. We could troll through her Instagram and realize that she certainly gets suckered in by a whole bunch of different causes. And then for the fact that, yeah, she's, 56 years old? She looks good for 56 years old. But at the end of the day, do I need to repeat it again? Okay. Why are you posing naked in a bathtub? Okay. Why are you doing that? Why are you complaining that, you're wondering why nobody wants to step up? Where did all the good men go? Well, here's the thing. You could easily find a man, okay? I could guarantee, all right? There's probably a whole host of men out there who would just be more than happy to marry you, take care of you for the rest of your life, but you would not be interested in them at all, okay? Because at the end of the day, you're a supermodel. You have a certain amount of wealth, okay? And women date across and up. Okay, and then the only time that they date across, somebody who is socioeconomically the same level as them, they have to be aimed on an upward trajectory. All right, men will date across and down. Okay, we'll fuck up. That's fine. You can always find a high-end doctor, a lawyer, a hedge fund manager, if there are female hedge fund managers out there. That's great, wonderful, fantastic. But again, it's that question in the back of their mind. Okay, they might think that it's fun. Okay, and you always hear those stories about, you know, the successful woman banging a bum who has nothing but a pissy mattress, but a big swinging dick. Okay, that only lasts for so long. Eventually, that gag runs cold at some point. So yeah. At the end of the day, the guys that Paulina Porizkova are looking for, she is invisible to them because the guys who are on her level, the millionaires, the multi-millionaires, okay, the 57, 58-year-olds, they're either married, so they'd only be in the market for a side piece, okay, and they aren't also picking up a former supermodel. They're out there picking up an Instagram thought who's in her 20s, in her 30s, okay? Or if you manage to find a guy who would be willing to hook you up for the long term, you got to realize that you're probably going to be in a stable, okay? That's just the facts, okay? Sorry, if you want to date down, that's fine. You just got to rework what's going on up here, but her thought process so far doesn't really lead me to believe that that's likely to happen. All right, and like I said before, I'm sure she's a nice lady, okay? I'm sure that she's probably a very interesting conversationalist. She's lived quite an intense life, okay? A supermodel in her 20s, okay? From 18 years old in Sports Illustrated, I think I seen, okay? And then also, yeah, being around in the 80s, and it's like, that would be a cool talking point, but then at the end of the day, being a good person and being an attractive mate, those are two different things, okay? Personal worth is different than sexual market value, okay? And understand that, and that's why they can be criticized, but women intertwine the two, take helpful advice personally. Don't be fat, don't be bitchy, don't be unattractive. Well, I'm a good person. That has nothing to do with anything. That's just good advice. Say the exact same thing to a man and be like, yeah, I know, I could probably be working out a little bit harder. Well, do that, fat ass. Let's read a little bit of this. Paulina Porizkova is tired of dealing with men who think she should simply fade into the background just because she's in her 50s. No, you just need to be realistic about your situation. I don't think anybody wants you to fade away. Fuck, I'd love for you to find another relationship. If that's what you're after, go out there and get it. Just, you know what? Hey, you're not 24-year-old Paulina Porizkova anymore. You're 56, going on 57-year-old Paulina Porizkova. You gotta reconcile with reality, okay? It's not something that women are all that great. Oh my god, yeah, body positivity, okay, all of that kind of stuff, that's changing the world to suit their needs, when in actuality, that's not how things work, okay? but you keep fighting that fight. It's a losing battle, but there's a lot of money to be made off that fight, so a lot of people like to monetize that stuff. That's not me. The Supermodel, formerly, has been outspoken in a criticism of the industry in recent years. Yes, exactly. That's why you always get these types of attacks from the former and the ex people who were associated with a certain industry, okay? And then when they're no longer the bells of the ball, because she wouldn't be making these claims if she was still 24 years old. No, of course, she'd be using the system to her advantage, getting all the gigs, getting all of the high-profile campaigns that are out there. But because she's on the outside looking in, she's kind of throwing rocks at the club at this point, okay? Well, I want it to be all torn down, and I want it to be more about older women. Nobody wants to buy perfume based on the back of how well it makes wrinkles smell. Sorry, it's a young person's game, okay? If you would have played your cards right a little bit better, okay, and you would have been set up longer term. And has suggested that women over a certain age are treated like they're invisible. No, again, we pointed this out. I forget exactly which video it was. Right now, the push in society is for, 40's the new 30. It's like, don't dive into the biology of it or anything like that. But a lot of women can just hold on. It's like we've been saying here for the past little while now. She looks really good for 56, but it's 56, okay? You are invisible if you want to be the face of a fashion campaign. If you want to be a spokesperson for a wrinkle reducer, okay, or for one of those probiotic yogurts, go speak with Jamie Lee Curtis. I'm sure she can get you an in. But being a supermodel, normally you're marketing to the 18 to 45 crowd, okay? And what sells there? Sex appeal. 56, you're kind of lacking, okay? Your peak sexual market value is long in the rearview mirror, okay? You're not going to be, if you think that it's going to be difficult to try to shift the narrative when it comes to sexy at any age, go ahead and try to shift the ideals around what is attractive for everybody on Earth. It ain't going to happen. That research has already been done. It's already been settled, and it's somebody about, half your age, minus about 5 years. But anyways, I am now completely invisible. No, you just keep squawking, so it's pretty tough to be invisible. Porizkova told the publication, this is a new interview with the Times. I walk into a party, I try to flirt with guys, and they will just walk away from me mid-sentence to pursue someone 20 years younger. I'm very single, I'm dressed up, I make an effort, nothing. Now you know what it's like to be every man literally ever. So welcome to the club, okay? Nobody bats 1,000. Most guys, if we're being completely honest, okay, that's why guys talk to anything, okay, in order to work on their game to perfect it. They'll talk to the old bitch at the fucking checkout counter at the grocery store, okay? They'll flirt with the pharmacist. It doesn't matter. You need to get your game on point, because most guys, it's kind of like a batting score, okay? You'll go to the Hall of Fame if you're hitting 300, okay? No doubt, okay? Most guys still, okay, if they don't have their looks on point, if they don't have their money on point, especially if they're trying to spit some outdated game, 1 out of 10, 1 out of 20, okay, that's just like success to get some sort of a close, okay? An Instagram profile, okay, a phone number if you're still into that, okay, a Twitter DMs, okay, any sort of communication after that, and then you got to continue to build on that game. So welcome to the party, pal. So you know what that tells me? You're a really shitty conversationalist, okay? If somebody's walking away mid-sentence, which I bet you're probably trying to be hyperbolic, okay? Because we've seen some of your pictures on Instagram, okay? If you're dressing up and you're looking like that, and you're with the right group of people, you're going to be getting some looks, okay? And most of these pictures, like, they aren't all that bad, okay? Like, you're in fucking tremendous shape, okay? You're just old. Sorry, that's fucking how it works, okay? So you got to start working on developing other skills, okay? Like Michael Jordan, early in his career, he could drive to the basket, okay? But what happened when he came back after his retirement over the last 3 years when the Bulls were still running strong? He developed a mid-range game. He could still go in, he could still drive hard in the paint, but he developed a jump shot. That's what you got to do. You got to develop the verbal jump shot, okay? Pretty fucking simple. The 56, sorry, I was going to give her 10 years, described how she first began to feel invisible when she reached middle-aged and call it a slow fade. But why did you want to jump back in? Makes zero sense. Like a boiled frog, you don't know until you're gone. I don't think, like, how hot are you boiling that water? Jeez. It was around the same time my marriage fell apart. Yeah, no, exactly. When you were finally getting that whole, oh God, he's dying, kind of wasting my youth. All of my kids are grown up, and oh fuck, I really just missed out. And you know what? Hey, I'm seeing all of this propaganda. I'm still a supermodel, and I see some of my former compatriots out there on the prowl, and they look like they're having fun. There's no fun to be found, okay? But now trying to do this revisionist history, okay? My marriage fell apart. My husband was no longer interested in me. Yeah, because his ticker was fucking stopping to work, okay? And this is the consistent validation that it comes with women here, okay? You guys are married for 30 years. He stopped being interested in me. He's 75. He's more interested in waking up every morning than he is about occasionally throwing you some old car stick. As I started looking around, I realized I was invisible to the population at large. It made me feel really terrible about myself. Yeah, no, exactly. And I could continue to dunk on this example here, because, again, all she needs to do is just change a couple of things, okay? Just start going around people that will accept the fact that she's 56 years old, okay? She's going to have to change who she's going after if she wants to find another relationship, which is exactly what she's saying here, okay? But this is what these companies are facilitating, okay? Abortion is healthcare. You go, girl. Of course it is, even though it involves the death of another human being. But okay, fine. Yeah, no, it's cheaper to keep her in that job. Here's $4,000. Go and get sucked. We'll see you on Monday, okay? You just go ahead and you forestall any sort of idea of family building, okay? You got your degree, and it's very important, okay? Gender studies is very serious. We're glad you're here, and eventually you'll be shift manager here at this local Starbucks. And hey, if there's another opportunity within the city, wherever you can ride the transit, because none of these idiots drive anyways. But no, if another opportunity shows up, you can stay and you can work and be in this company for as long as possible, because we don't want to have to train anybody else who's out there. And then once that day comes when you're in your 40s or 50s and you think that everything is all set up and you can just go out there and use some of your frozen eggs, and then realize that there's like a 40% chance that any of them will be usable, and then of course on top of that it's tens of thousands of dollars to do in vitro fertilization, and that only works some of the time, only if you have it. See how much of a fucking burden this becomes. They don't tell you this shit up front. What's happiness? Finding somebody who's worthy, okay? Like I'm saying, don't fucking settle for a loser who's out there who's not gonna stick around and help support you and the family, okay? That's very important, okay? But you need to temper your overall expectations, because society lies to both sexes. I'll make that intensely clear, okay? They tell men to fundamentally change everything about themselves in order to become more feminine, and they do the exact same thing to women, okay? Telling them that, yep, you can work, you can get paid just as much as a man by doing a little bit less, okay? Even though, yeah, nope, you deserve to be paid the same amount as men, and you don't, need to settle for 83.77 whatever cents on the dollar, even though that's been debunked more times than the authenticity of a Joe Biden rally. 40's the new 30, and you can just start a family whenever you want. That's just not the fucking facts, and you gotta reconcile with that. What's gonna make you happy? Pretty simple. The answer to that question has been well decided, and it has been for generations at this point. Do you want to fight biological programming? You want to fight that uphill battle? That's totally up to you. Just take a look at your contemporaries who are doing the same thing and ask yourself if you really think that they're happy on their handful of pills that they have to take every morning in order to just get up, and then the handful that they have to take at night in order to go to bed. Your choice, though. Of course, I'm pro-choice when the cards are down. With all of that said, thank you all very much for the gift of your time. I've been Don Consuelo. I want you to follow your gut and get after it. Take care, everyone.